Hello everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the weekly report. How Texas killed COVID. In March, Governor Greg Abbott announced that Texas would open for business 100% without a statewide mask mandate. The pro-lockdown experts were shocked. If a state as big as Texas joined Florida and succeeded in thumbing its nose at the science, which told us that for the first time in history, healthy people should be forced to stay in their houses and wear oxygen-restricting face masks, then the lockdown narrative would begin falling apart. President Biden famously attacked the decision as Neanderthal thinking. Texas Democratic Party Chairman Gilberto Hinojosa warned that with this order, Abbott would kill Texans. Incoming CDC Director Rochelle Walensky tearfully told us about her feelings of impending doom. When the poster child for COVID lockdowns, Dr. Fauci, was asked several weeks later why cases and deaths continue to evaporate in Texas, he answered simply, "I'm not sure." That moment may have been a look at the man behind the proverbial curtain who projected his power so confidently until confronted with reality. Now, a new study appearing as a National Bureau of Economic Research working paper, highlighted recently in Reason magazine, has found no evidence that the reopening affected the rate of new COVID-19 cases in the 5-week period following the reopening. State-level COVID-19 mortality rates were unaffected by the March 10th reopening. In other words, not only did the doom and gloom predicted by the lockdown fanatics fail to materialize, but the steady, seasonal downward trend of the virus toward extinction continued regardless of government action. As we have repeated for a year on the Liberty Report, the virus was going to virus regardless of anything we did about it, and Texas proved it. However, some very important questions remain to be answered as the COVID panic across the United States is finally starting to recede. First, will anybody be held responsible for the thousands who died because of the prohibition on safe treatments such as hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin that have since been shown to be effective against COVID-19? As soon as Donald Trump mentioned that hydroxychloroquine might be effective against the virus, the experts circled the wagons. It was banned for use until it later was quietly unbanned. The politicization of medicine is anti-science, anti-human, and anti-American. Will those who needlessly die due to this politicization finally get its justice? Second, though, Abbott deserves credit for taking the bold step. Shouldn't he be held accountable for closing the state in the first place? After all, when someone has been punching you in the face and then they stop, do you thank them for letting up, or do you ask why they punched you in the first place? With all the tyrannical rule by decree orders across the United States be stricken from the books? Or will they just be allowed to do this again for any reason they choose? Third, thanks to Senator Rand Paul, we are now all aware of Dr. Fauci's role in funding gain-of-function research on viruses in China. Will we be able to find out exactly why we are being forced to pay for the mad scientist research into how to create more deadly viruses? Can we opt out of this funding? Though Greg Abbott deserves much criticism for shutting Texas down, his reopening decree effectively ended COVID tyranny across the country. We are thankful for that. Now we must resolve to never let this happen again. Thanks for listening.